Hi, I'm Stacy with Edgewater Creative.
And I'm Tia with Done Classy Events.
We're two small business owners who reside in the beautiful city of Dunedin, Florida.
We love our charming city on the Gulf and want to share with you all it has to offer.
Join us as we chat with business owners, event hosts, and charities located in Dunedin and other surrounding communities.
So come along and meet us on Main Street.
Your hair looks very soft, like cotton candy today.
Thank you. It's what happens when you wash it. I'm going to stop there. It's what happens when you wash it. So it's is that a compliment that my hair looks like cotton candy though? I just thought of that. Like, does that mean it's like very fluffy and like all over the fucking place?
No, it's like fluffy and soft.
Filled with sugar and random
looks
coloring.
Nice. Filled with preservatives.
Let me find out what the actual.
No,
before I say thank you, let me see what she meant
nice.
First.
It looks lovely.
Thank you. Okay, that's awesome. I just needed the clarification real quick. Just in case any of our listeners out there was wondering what cotton candy meant as well. It's not an insult. It's not an insult.
It's a compliment.
It's a compliment. All right. Well, hello and welcome to another edition of
Meet Us on Main
Street with Tia
and Stacy.
That's her. That's her right there. I'm with that one. Whichever.
Right now you're up,
on.
but when it's recorded, you're gonna come out probably this way. This way.
Right now you're this way. Whatever way that way is. Who knows? You guys don't care, nor will you probably hear any of this stuff either.
Nor will you see it.
Nor will you see it. But for Rodrigo Benito, what is it? And yes, man. Thank you, everybody, and our 5 fans out there in the audience. We are Meet Us on Main Street, the podcast. Goku. All right.
Anyway, Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year. We haven't talked to you guys in so long. How have you been? Tell us everything. How are those New Year's resolutions? Did they all fail already? I know mine have, but isn't that the whole perk of New Year's resolutions? To have them fail so you can start again. Right? That's what they're for, right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out how to get this so it's not in covering my face the whole time.
That's why I had to do this really weird loop-de-loo thingy that you can see the contraption. If this actually ends up staying in the episode, we are talking about the new fancy boom arms that we've got going on in our studios now.
We got ourselves a couple of Christmas presents.
Because we deserve it.
For the new year. For our second year of the podcast. Happy anniversary to us.
Exactly. But actually, technically, our next episode will be our official 2-year anniversary because it was January 30th. January 30th was our first episode that we released when we went to Dunedin Commons with Misty Macera. No, it's been almost a year, guys. That's crazy. But yes, we're super excited that you guys have been listening to us for a year and that we've been able to bring local businesses to you that you may not have known about. I actually was talking to somebody earlier today and she said that she follows us on our page and she literally goes to everywhere that we talk about. And we've introduced her to so many new places. And that's not the first time I've heard that. So yeah. So how was your New Year's? Did you do anything fun?
Oh, no. I mean, I would like to say that we didn't do anything exciting because of COVID, but truth be told, we never do anything exciting on New Year's Eve because, we just don't like dealing with the drunk drivers out there and the crowds of people normally. And in COVID times especially. So we stayed home. We did make vision boards for the year. So that was our exciting activity.
Lots of
And
glue, lots of magazine cutouts.
lots of magazine cutouts.
Did you get high off that glue? You use that good stuff?
No, they were
Use that good
they
glue?
were the Elmer's glue sticks. But we did that, and then New Year's Day is Dominic's birthday. So I always just, defer to him and what he wants to do. So we didn't really do anything New Year's Day either because there's really nowhere to go. That's the thing that sucks about a New Year's birthday. People feel bad for people with like Christmas birthdays. But I dare say people with New Year's birthdays have it worse because everyone's hungover, so no one wants to do anything. Everywhere's closed, so you can't go anywhere. Everyone forgets it's your birthday because it's also New Year's Day. So I always try to make a big fuss myself about it. So I decorated the kitchen while he was sleeping. I blew up a ton of balloons. With the first one, I was like, this was a mistake because I could barely blow it up.
And you could have borrowed my machine that I own that literally goes.
I needed it. it.
Well, I didn't know. Girl, okay. If you have any party needs, just ask, see if I have it because I probably do.
Well,
and then you can borrow it. You can save your lung capacity. So, for next time.
Yeah, so that's about it. I decorated the kitchen. I got a little ice cream cake from Cold Stone. It was delicious. And we had a nice little hangout at home.
The little New Year's baby Dominic. And we discussed that before, not on the show, but whether or not he was an official like New Year's baby, like a news station came out like in the movie we watched on Four Christmases on a virtual movie to see or not if he actually was. But if anyone actually that listens and knows exactly how that works out, I mean, I could Google it, but I'll probably forget. But if you guys want to let me know, how is it the whole country, whoever's first? I feel like it's impossible to be able to know.
I think it's left up to individual places. Like I told Tia off the air before, Dominic was like published in the newspaper as a New Year baby in Pinellas County. I think he was the firstborn in Pinellas County. But I think it's up to the local area, really.
Does he have that framed, or have you gotten that framed for him for one of his birthdays?
No,
because I know how much he loves sentiment.
I don't think his mom saved the article.
Nothing special, just the New Year's baby.
He's got his birth certificate. That's good enough.
Sure, we'll take that. Dominic's mom. Anywho.
So Tia, what did you do for New Year's Eve?
So my one requirement for all New Year's is that I get to watch the ball drop. I don't really care where I'm at as long as the ball drops somewhere around there and I'm able to see it. But this year I was very disappointed with the broadcasting that I chose to, the only one that I was able to stream on my television, which was the New Year's Eve Toast and Roast, which was on Fox. So the hosts were Joel McHale and Ken Jeong, who you would think would be great.
I was going to say that
like,
already
hilarious.
Sounds better than the one that I found as a live stream, which I have no idea who the host was. But
no. They were awful. And Kelly Clarkson was there and she is insane. And she looks exactly like Sharon, which terrifies me because I was like, this doesn't even like she looks like Sharon with purple hair. Sharon Osbourne. Her mom.
Oh, I was like, who's Sharon? When you said Kelly Osbourne, I was thinking Kelly Clarkson. Up with
the Osbourne family here.
I was thinking Kelly Clarkson the whole time.
Wrong one, but she's kind of looking more like Kelly Clarkson than she's looking like Kelly Osbourne these days. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, like I get it that they were supposed to be roasting each other. I guess I missed the first 5 minutes, so I don't know what maybe the general concept behind it was, but like they did not play well off of each other at all. Like it was just like cringeworthy jokes and
like our podcast
awkwardness. I picked Joel McHale. I get to be the Joel McHale.
That's fine. Ken Jeong was a doctor. He's smart.
There you go. Perfect. Now I can tell you that he was the worst one of the two that was up there. No. But yeah, so other than that, watched the ball drop. But yeah, that's it. Stayed home. Same thing. I used COVID as an excuse to not go out. We had talked about going out, but then the fact that everything had like limited seating, that was why. So by the time he got out, which was like 11, and it's like, okay, so even if I get down to Dunedin, like it's not to say that I can even get inside of any of these places because everyone's probably already in there that would be in there by then. It's not like normally when you're like jam pack inside, everyone like stand next to each other, like
everyone sweat on each other.
Yeah.
Good luck for the new year.
Exactly. It was. See, now we're all burdened. That's the thing. That's what brings you luck. But yeah, that was that. That was my New Year's.
Exciting
We're
stuff.
super exciting people over here, guys. You should really like want to be friends with us and inside of our super, super exciting lives that we have going on over here. Well, exciting news. Hobbs event space is almost done, which is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, last time I drove by, it looked pretty well there.
They're doing the pavers right now. We're recording this a little earlier, but tomorrow will be second Friday, which they're starting their market back up again. It should be done by 3 p.m. Friday. So by the time everyone's listening to this, it should be finished.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I have like 5 meetings this weekend, 6 with people that are looking to book already for spring stuff. So guys, if you want to book your event at Hobb Brewing Companies, reach out now because that is getting booked quickly. Once you go and see it, you will see why, because it's pretty freaking awesome over there. So that's that. And then in our news, podcast news, which is our favorite topic, unless Stacey has something else to talk about in her life.
I was just going to casually say to you that now that it's the new year, it's a great chance for people to update their headshots. New year, new headshots. And you can get those done by a great company, local, husband and wife owned. I know them personally and fairly well.
Who do you know? Do I know them? Who are they?
You do. Edgewater Creative.
Wait a minute, that's your company.
That it is, Tia, that it is.
Oh, well, that is a fantastic idea for the new year because everyone's 2020 headshot probably looks very ragged because of the year they had. So fresh start for the new year, fresh headshot. Yep. Exactly. I think that's a fantastic idea to go out. I may even go get a headshot in general.
There you go. I mean, I just wanted to casually say that,
casually throw that out there for all of our lovely listeners that Stacey is a fantastic photographer and videographer along with her husband.
Thank you.
If you have any needs whatsoever in either of those departments, contact her.
Thank you, Tia.
And she doesn't pay me to say that either. She just continue. She allows me to still be her co-host.
And I charge Tia full price.
I don't even get discounts, guys. I mean, wait a minute. This is ridiculous. I'm out. Our video for FaceTime Beauty is now where Stacey is getting a luxurious lymphatic drainage facial. All kinds of sexy words in there. And I act ridiculous, which is usually my shtick in our videos. So
that is your shtick. Let me just say that even watching the video, you feel a sense of relaxation. At least I did through the editing process. Every time I saw my own face get massaged and pampered, I was like, this is lovely. And I felt like I was back on the table again.
And then every time you'll see the clips of me in there, you're going to feel a little uncomfortable and kind of creeped out, which is exactly the feeling that you should have if somebody was in the room watching you get a facial. It's a great video. Edgewater Creative is the ones that also edited our videos and edits all of our videos.
They do everything.
They do everything. It's crazy. This is
Headshots,
not just one big
videos.
plug. It's crazy. We did not start this podcast to shamelessly plug our own businesses. How dare you think that about us, sweet, loyal listeners of ours? We're here for you. You know what's really great for the new year? It's sponsorships and advertising, because hey, new year, is that business plan? Are you remodeling your business? Are you coming up with new ideas? Are you feeling a little stuck on some of your advertising, not being able to get your name out there enough? We can help you out with that. We have over 3,000 listeners for this podcast. We offer advertisement. We offer sponsorship packages. We got commercials. We got all kinds of things that we can do to help boost your business. We're all about helping.
Today on the show, we have Heather Lalk, the owner of Fit to a T LLC Personal Training. So stay tuned. All right, here we are with Heather, owner of Fit to a T. How are you today, Heather? Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on today. It's great to be here. And so doing pretty well through all these tough times.
Yes, definitely. And Happy New Year.
Yes.
Almost. We are all waiting with bated breath, I think.
All right, Heather. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to settle in Dunedin.
I'm actually from Wisconsin originally. A lot of my family is still up there, being very cold. But I kind of throughout when I was about 18, 19 years old, I kind of went off on my own, crazily, everyone thought. But I lived in Jackson for a little bit, but I ended up in Tampa Bay, which I've been here for over 20 plus years, we'll put it that way. I've been living here and I've had marketing jobs and things, but I'm really truly blessed that finally I am actually doing what I truly have a passion for, and being able to help people and share experiences and knowledge that I've gained throughout my years.
So tell us a little bit about Fit to a T and the types of services that you offer.
Fit to a T is a private boutique studio. It's about 960 square feet. I have everything from Smith machines, free weights, to full-on cardio equipment, ellipticals, treadmills. I've got leg machines. I have a lot of balls. I'm very adamant about form, because I want you to get the most out of the exercise as well as don't get hurt, because I've had a lot of my own injuries, not even just working out in the gym. And I do a lot of core balance and coordination, because I think in everyday life, we all need that. We need to go back to that in order for us to be able to do more things and just feel confident walking around and doing other housework or maybe yard work and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the core work is so important, and that's the one that no one ever wants to do.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what saves your back. Yeah. And there's, and I always tell people I'm really creative because I get bored in the gym. So I'm thinking of new things. I'm always studying. I'm always watching other people or, the competitive pros. Because I think it's amazing, because you can mimic, you can modify so many different exercises. And I think that's one thing about me that's different and sets me apart, is that I meet the person where they're at. So I don't make them do something that they're not ready for, even if it's to be doing weight loss. If you're not conditioned, because your heart's the most important muscle that you have, we have to condition that in order for us to get your heart rate to the point where you're burning more fat. But if you're using lower body extremities, that's like 80% of your fat burning. So there's a lot of things I try to teach people that they can do on their own, so they have a direction and they don't feel so overwhelmed with it. I teach them there's things they can do outside, morning routines. And also I do nutritional health coaching, because that is another 80% or 80% of everything is your diet. And I don't like the word diet really, your lifestyle, your nutrition, I should put it that way. I don't think outside is kind of like a swear word. Don't we really want to say that?
Nobody wants to go on none of those.
Because it never
Four-letter
lasts.
word.
It never lasts. Yeah. So, but here I really can work with one-on-one. So you don't have groups of people in here. I can do small groups. We're probably going to start that after the new year, and we're in the new year at this time, outside. So we're going to do doing modified little boot camps that people can sign up for. Here you can do mom and child, dad and child, family workout, partner workouts. But I make sure that each exercise is specific for each person at wherever their level may be.
Mhm.
So I think I also incorporate a lot of things like, if you don't know what to have, tools that are healthy, make your life easier, quicker in the kitchen. I can help you revamp your kitchen. I can take you, use one of your sessions. You can go to the grocery store like Costco, I believe in. I like to go to Sprouts. I can tell you and show you what to get, and then you can kind of choose from that, and then you can get in and out of there in 30 minutes. So it doesn't have to cost a lot, and it doesn't really have to take tons of time either.
Mhm.
So
Well, yeah, like you said, that's so unique about what you offer as opposed to other gyms and fitness centers. And I know you have a lot of different certifications in things like you're what is it, a registered nutritionist or?
I'm a certified nutritional health
Mhm.
coach, and then I'm also, through the state of Florida, I am a licensed chiropractic assistant. So I do work with holistic doctors as collaborative partners, as well as even Back and Balance next door. I do a lot of rehabilitation after they do what they need to do with the client, and then I can help them also further their recovery.
Mhm. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you get into fitness and nutrition?
Well, growing up, I was always active. I competed horses. I did ballet, jazz, and tap. I took gymnastics. I think back in the day, it's really gonna age me, but I did breakdancing lessons. So that was
What?
pretty cool. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's awesome.
And the instructor was way, way hot. No.
And that's why you took breakdancing.
Yeah,
lessons.
exactly. But hey, whatever motivates you. But I always did that throughout the years, and then I was into music as well. But I just felt like being outside, doing things, riding my bike, I love doing. I've played beach tennis. So all of those things made me feel better. And once I hit my early 30s, I started to ache a lot. And I actually found out that I had fibromyalgia. So it's widespread aching and pain, and your pain receptors are on overdrive. So I took that upon myself to figure out why, instead of taking a bunch of pharmaceuticals, which I just don't do. I don't really believe in that a lot. There's a time and a place for them, yes, but a lot of times you can, through nutrition and exercise, which is why I love to exercise, that made me stop hurting as much, or not at all.
Mhm.
So that's something that I always try to figure out with people, because everyone, obviously, even if they have fibromyalgia, may be different. They don't want to move because they hurt so badly. But on the other token, it's like, well, it move a little bit because our bodies really are made to move. So that's kind of why I went into that, what I do, and I enjoy it. It makes me feel better emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So, and then to go fast forward, and I started having issues with my thyroid and also my hormones. And that's another thing that I had to say no, wrong answer to doctors, and go find my own answers and go to other people and other types of doctors. And so that led me to a journey at Institute for Integrative Nutrition out in New York, after I got certified with nutritional health coaching, to take some master courses in gut health, thyroid health, which also touches on autoimmunity because it all relates,
Mhm.
and also hormone health too. So I'm not a medical professional per se, but I really can work together with a lot of different doctors to help you feel better, or clients to feel better.
So, what kind of recommendations do you have for those who have autoimmune issues or, different hormone problems? What would you recommend for their fitness routine or what to eat?
I think the biggest thing I always say, and even if you look at YouTube videos I've been on or whatever, I'm always saying, listen to your body. You really have to learn to get in tune with it, because just because something is healthy, like broccoli, let's say, a lot of people, including myself, I can't eat it, a lot of it, because, or especially raw, because it tears up my stomach. I'm so uncomfortable. But it's a healthy thing. Great. But for me, it's not that healthy for my gut. So those kind of things, and even keeping on your phone, My Fitness Pal or all the other apps, or even if you like to handwrite stuff the old school way, which I like to do too, keep track of how you feel, because your body will give you signs. And sometimes they're not major in your face signs, but you'll kind of experience them. Maybe don't eat that for a week or two, and then maybe introduce it. And it doesn't have to be very complicated, and go to a professional, either myself or someone else, that can kind of guide you through that. There's many different ways of doing that. So sometimes people can do it very quickly and they're like, I'm just going to do baseline foods and then introduce one at a time. And then most people are not willing to do that. And that's cool. Because we want them to be successful. We don't want them to fail. And that's why I always say, take the word diet out of your vocabulary, because especially with even autoimmunity, keto, paleo, that's great. I learned over 102 different dietary theories in school, and they're wonderful. They're great. And you should be able to pick little bits out of each and every one of them, not just specifically one. Even something like Tom Brady, what he did. Well, ask yourself, are you Tom Brady? So it works for him, and that's magnificent. And he wanted to share it with the world, and that's great. And some of the stuff may work, but it's not a cookie cutter, is basically the bottom line.
Yeah.
Can I take the cheese and bacon dip from the keto diets and keep that part? I really just want, because I've had one of those before. Someone's like, oh, I'm on a keto diet. And it was like this giant cheesy bacony dip. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could be keto too. But I only want that part. I just want that part of it.
Oh, I know. Well, once in a while, I'm trying to be realistic with people. You can, but it's really, that whole way of eating is really not meant for a long period of time, because think of your cholesterol is going to go through the roof. Then it's going to start affecting your heart, cardiovascular. So, not many people can eat like that all the time. So, and it really wasn't meant for weight loss when it came out. It was for something specific, really kind of different. What you achieve by doing it, you get water, you lose the water weight, you do lose weight. So there's you kind of have to understand where those diets came from and what purpose, but they really are meant to teach you, okay, here's a little bit of this, now you can eat a little bit of like that, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I like bacon, I like dips at holiday seasons. I just I don't want to eat the big tub of it, but
I want to eat the big tub of it, but I shouldn't, No, but what you said about what works for one person doesn't work for everyone is so true. I have an aunt that constantly asks people like, how did you lose that weight? I need to try that. And then she'll try that diet and it won't work for her. And then, she'll try another one. I mean, her thing is she'll try it for 2 days and it won't work, but
I wonder what's happening. Wonder why.
Go figure.
Years ago when I did this was before keto, but a keto similar diet, they, she's like, oh, you look great. I need to try that diet. And I'm like, it's not going to work for everyone. I mean, it worked for me in that time, but since then, and I feel like, and maybe you, since you are the expert, you could advise that if a diet has worked for you at one point in your life, it may not work for you at another point in your life.
Great minds think alike, because as you were talking, that's what came into my mind. It did, because, I'm in my mid 40s. Don't try to hide it. I'm not a spring chicken, but I competed in my late 30s, early 40s. So that was a couple years ago. And that way of eating, it still kind of works for me, but it's not realistic. There's one, you know what I mean? Because you get busy. I try to do my best. Sometimes the holidays come, because why do I have to do that? You can't stay that lean all year long, because especially for a woman, it's going to screw with your hormones, it's going to screw with your thyroid, and then it's going to make everything worse. If not right then and there, it's going to do it when you get older. And then you're going to like, oh, what'd I do? But yeah, I guess when I was younger, I could drink beer because I'm from Milwaukee, I mean, come on, and cheese, the dairy state, and they have amazing beer and cheese. But I
Beer
learned
cheese.
yeah, put them together.
It's so good they combine them.
It is.
Squeaky cheese. But I found out I got severely sick when I was preteenish at that point. And I became really lactose intolerant. I mean, I had to stay away from it completely. But then over the years, I kind of weaned myself able to eat some. I don't eat a lot of it. And I actually, usually I never try to eat cow milk cheeses. I do sheep or goat because they have the enzymes that our human bodies are more able to process. There is nothing about a cow's milk enzymes that a human being really is supposed to process. That's why a lot of kids are lactose intolerant, or all these different things happen. And if you just would eat, a cheese from a different animal, you would see the difference. And people do say, they're like, oh, is that why? Yeah. So that's what happens. So yeah, going back to that, I think there's a lot of other things too. When I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, the only tests were done by chiropractors that were holistic, and they did kinesiology testing, which was the muscle testing. They'd hold the vials, and really that's based upon old school principles, but it's your body telling you something. So once I cut those things out, and I kind of had an inkling about when I ate something, I felt terrible. I just felt lethargic, I ached, I hurt. And once I cut those out, I felt like 90% better. I mean, it was night and day. And for me to go from aching like I was 80 in my late 20s, early 30s and I was, I thought I was healthy, tried to be active, to feeling like a normal person, I was like, that's totally not worth eating that stuff if it makes me feel that bad. Wow. But to be able to, I had to search for those answers instead of, back then for fibro, they wanted to give me pills for narcolepsy. And I said, well, I drive, and they make you, if you don't have narcolepsy, they'll make you pass out, maybe.
Oh, jeez.
So I was like, that's kind of a problem for a marketing rep that drives all over, Oh
my gosh, that's crazy.
But so it comes back to, and every single 7 years, if not more often, but every single 7 years, your body goes through this revamping thing. So you do change, men and women, more so women because we've got so much jazz going on, but we do. So what you could eat 7 years ago, it may not be happy friendly to you or your gut or anything else right now, or your skin or your hair or anything. So you got to think about those things too. I think I tell people too, I said, let's stay away from maybe chicken. I had to do that for a while because I ate so much chicken when I was competing, or people do when they compete. And I was becoming a chicken, I think. So
started growing feathers,
Chicken. You almost could fly. It was great.
Yeah, I know. But I did, but I said, it may not last forever. So don't be so sad about it. You know what I mean? Then find other things to replace it. So, I mean, that's what I try to tell people. Something will never maybe not last forever. And just, we have to figure out as we go, because we're always changing. We're always evolving. And let's face it, really our chemistry, our microbiomes are still, we're still back in the caveman days. So we're feeding it a bunch of plastic. I always call it plastic food, or made in a petri dish, morphed, sprayed with pesticides, all our cattle and poultry with all the, what do you call them? The antibiotics and things like that, and steroids. Well, we're ingesting all that stuff. Our bodies are like, whoa, what are we supposed to do with that? So we create visceral fat, becomes disease. So I could go on and on. So about it.
I'm always so fascinated when you talk about this stuff. Like I feel like I'm not even contributing a lot right now because I'm just like, wow, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Like when you were talking about the every 7 years, how your body changes, I had heard that back in the day when I was 20 years old and I quit smoking. And I heard that, it takes 7 years for your lungs to be completely clean. And I never thought about how I guess all your cells turn over basically in 7 years. And yeah.
Yeah.
I had heard about that with taste buds, like how your taste buds change every 7 years. So things that you may not have liked eating as a kid, then you like end up loving.
Well, you hear that all the time, like with beets, especially. Like people are like, I hated beets. My grandma made me eat beets, and now they're like, I love beet salads.
Yeah. I was sour cream. Sour cream, I couldn't stand it. Now I'm just like, give me more sour cream.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
there's proof in the truth in all of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like I said, I can go on. I'm trying to sometimes when we people that like myself and other people, even in this area that went to the same school I did, and we've become health coaches or whatever we do, or we feel passionate. So sometimes we start puking information and it's just circuit overload for most people.
No.
So I'm like, whoa,
I love it.
No, I'm like, keep talking.
Yeah, and we're recording it so we can go back and listen to it over and over in case we missed something. So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated with nutrition and stuff because it is so crazy. And I've noticed it too, getting into my 30s about different foods. And like, sometimes I'll be achy and then I'm like, but I haven't ever done one of those elimination diets that people have talked about because I don't want to eliminate it. But like you said, I need to get out of that headspace of like, it may not be forever, but I don't want to be like, find out that, it's all of my favorite foods is what I can't have. But like, I also don't want to feel bad every day, like eating the same stuff. So
and I ask people that too when I'm working with them. I'm like, okay, they say I want to do this, then I get their specific goals, and I said, well, how severe? I don't want to say severe, but how drastic do you want to do this, or how serious are you, or are you willing to give this up? And I never criticize or judge or anything because everybody's different. I'm like, okay, well, you're not at that point. And I'm like, okay, so what I learned at IIN was crowding out. Crowding out means you're not going to tell someone that's a human being, because it's human nature. Your mother tells you can't do that. What exactly are you going to do? Just that, right?
Yep.
I mean, we still do that as humans or as adults. So I just start trying to introduce things that could be replaced by something that tastes good and say, hey, see, it still tastes good. But you start putting healthy things into the diet, and just by nature, all the crap stuff really sometimes more slower than others, just depends on the person, but it'll start falling off.
Hey guys, meet us on Main Street here. Stacy and I are all about staying young and beautiful, so we wanted to share with you a salon that we recently discovered to take care of all of our beauty needs.
That's right, Tia. Beauty on Broadway offers everything from the most complex hair treatments like keratin and balayage to advanced permanent makeup for lips, brows, eyeliner, and even scalp micropigmentation. The owner, Mary Katz, is a nationally certified and recognized trainer for permanent makeup who holds over 25 certifications from the most prominent artists around the world. So she really knows her stuff.
And everyone who works there are true professionals who make sure their clients get exactly what they want.
You know what else is awesome about them? They do free paramedical tattooing for all breast cancer survivors.
That is awesome. And they were just ranked among the best in the nation for their COVID-19 procedures. So you have a clean and safe space to go get away from the world and just let loose.
You guys seriously need to go check them out. Visit their website for more information and to make your appointment today at beautyonbroadway.salon. Now that we are in the new year, everyone always has their New Year's resolutions to focus on health in the first part of the year. Do you have any fitness or nutrition tips for staying with your New Year's resolution to get healthy for the new year? Because, by January 10th or so, everyone's given up.
They're over
Well,
it.
that was going to be my follow-up question of what is your average? Do you see after January, does the drop off start happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, I always approach people because they really have to make a commitment for amount of time and stuff for me, but it's really a commitment to themselves, and it's kind of like, you have to have that speak to Jesus meeting with people sometimes, because if you're not ready, then don't bother, because you're just going to fail for yourself and fail for me. So, it's kind of like, what's on the important scale for you? And that's the thing. And a lot of people, I have people here that used to be trainers. They came from California and they did this, they did yoga, that blah, blah, blah. They know a lot of stuff. Like some of the stuff I don't have, I'm not certified in everything. And I'm like, well, that's cool. But they did it because, they're like, I need someone to push me. I need the accountability. It's more fun to show up for something, some of them say, or they're just like, holy crap, I never thought about doing that exercise that way. Or, you're always very creative, and like every person, every trainer is not for everybody, and not everybody's for each trainer. It works both ways, So, but I think that is what it is. You need to either get a workout buddy, partner, whoever, even if it's your kids. That's kind of a cool one. I've people come in and they want to help their kids know nutrition because they admit they don't really know how to teach them well. And that's fun, and then also listen to your body. Like I said, once you start with all the holiday jazz that you were eating and stuff, kind of be real cognizant, write it down, put it in an app, you're the only one that'll see it. So, and, people sometimes look at it and say, holy crap, I was eating crap. They're like, I didn't realize there was so much junk I was doing. You don't realize it. So, but I think those things, accountability, someone to work out with. And I always say, keep moving, because we're all made to move. It's kind of like a car. You let it sit, a vintage car, you let it sit, you don't take it on the weekends, you don't wash it, you don't wax it, you don't do anything with it. It rusts, it won't start. It just, that's just a waste. It's kind of like you put all this high premium gas or great stuff in your car. How come you're like putting a bunch of junk in your body? Because if you put a bunch of junk and you ruin your house, which is your body, where are you going to live? But those are really huge things. And especially this year, myself included, it's so stressful. We've had so much anxiety and still it's going on. I was going to mention too, with the autoimmunity and nutrition, because it lowers your immunity, because your gut runs everything. Your gut is your emotions. It helps run your brain. If your gut's messed up, you could be, angry, or so it is. And it's everything is in your immunity is in your gut. So when you're feeding it a bunch of junk, then bad stuff happens. My mom's 80, and a few years back, she finally listened to me about diet and all of that. And she started exercising, and she lost 30 pounds. So she knows better to eat. But I know because of this, because she's 80, she was up north by herself, couldn't see a lot of people. She was eating not so good, didn't really want to tell me that. And, whether it's specifically that, but that allowed her to be more susceptible. Now she's in the hospital, she's in the ICU with COVID and pneumonia, So, and it's kind of, it's like one of those wake up calls, and they're like, look, you need to take care of yourself, just like everybody else that needs to, know what you're putting in your mouth, cheat once in a while, sure, have some wine with your girlfriends or beers with your buddies or whatever, cocktails, because we all need that too a lot of times. But don't do it in excess, and think of your body as your car. You really like your car, so why treat your body like
you haven't seen Tia's old car that she just got rid of.
I don't know. I feel like you should say treat your body better than your car if you're directing that at me. I have a long-standing record of that.
Treat your body like you do Goku, your cat.
I
I don't know if that's even going to work out.
It was the wrong analogy,
No, for everyone else, just not the co-host over here.
Treat your body well. Form your own analogy.
Yeah. Treat yourself better and you'll get a better car. I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
I did.
Reward yourself.
I did.
When you do good, you have that reward. But the real reward is that you have a healthy body. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good one. That's a good one too, is to reward yourself. I mean, you should do that. I was going really well. I mean, reward yourself a little bit, not so you're like, oh, and then it keeps on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
For years.
I'm constantly worth rewarding.
Yeah. Exactly. And another point too is because I was in the best shape of my life here in my early 40s. I'm in my mid 40s now, and owning a business by myself, and then the COVID happened and everything else. It's it is hard to stay on track, but I always have to go back to listen to motivational stuff, do all this. But hey, I'm stressed out today. I'm gonna go home and have some wine because I'm human. So I just had to, or I have to. Yeah. So don't be so hard on yourself to cheat a little bit, or just pick one day. Some people take one day to meal prep, and then they take another day. They're like, we're going to cheat, or they'll cheat as a family, But
that's a good idea where you focus one day on planning for the week. That's like your good day. And then you have your cheat day at the end of the week.
Well, it means more too. You know what I'm saying? If like we don't go out to eat a lot, you're always cooking or meal prepping. You're like, we get to go out Saturday or whatever. I mean, something to look forward to. Because if you do something all the time, what's so special about that?
Right.
I mean, that's just human nature.
Now, Heather, I know you talked about everyone, follows different diet plans, or everyone has different diet plans that work for them. What do you recommend is better and it may not even be that one is better than the other, but as far as like counting calories, or what's the word that begins with an M that I can't think of?
Macros.
Yeah.
Macros can be like super complicated, and then people get frustrated and like, to heck with that. I'm not going to do that. I mean, even sometimes to me, figuring that stuff out and all of that, I'm like, forget it. I think the biggest thing these days is you don't know what it is, you can't pronounce it, you can't say it, don't eat it, okay? Because there's just a bunch of junk in there. It's something you don't need to eat. Paleo to me is, and it's just eating of nature. You're not eating stuff out of a box or a can something. I mean, big thing, look at how much sugar is in stuff. Even if it's healthy, that's why fat-free stuff became so bad, and it is bad for you, because they took the fat out of it and then it loaded it with sugar, because otherwise it would taste like caca and no one would eat it,
Yep.
Those are the kinds of things you have to really think about, and then also sodium. Sodium is huge. It's in everything. We do not, as humans, need sodium. We get enough sodium, okay? So, I mean, a lot of people like myself, I'm so highly allergic to it, I blow like a balloon,
Oh.
And so I have to stay away from it. And I got used to not eating it at all. But and there's so many salt-free seasonings, but those are huge things, because the more you take fat out, the more you take fiber out, the more sugar's up in your face, and you might as well sit down at the dinner table and eat a whole bowl of table sugar.
Hey guys, meet us on Main Street here. We wanted to take a moment to tell you guys about Eat Pinellas.
Eat Pinellas is a local members-only dining app for Pinellas County. For only $34.99 a year, members save up to 20% every time they eat at one of their favorite restaurants in the network. And they'll have access to daily deals at over 150 restaurants all over Pinellas County. In addition to members receiving discounts, they also help people in need right here in Pinellas County. For every new or renewed membership, they'll donate to help feed someone for an entire day.
With your help and the help of their participating restaurants, we can make Pinellas County a better place by giving the gift of food.
To sign up for your membership today, go to https:// https://eatpinellas.com/ref/14.
Our bodies, especially, particularly, well, women, I always say, but because of our thyroids and our hormones crave healthy fat. So it needs that. You need those healthy fats in order to lose weight. You know, olive oils, coconut oils, and some different type of oils, avocados, you know, eggs if you're not allergic to them, just certain things, or the egg yolks, not too many, but, you know, that kind of stuff that you really need in your diet. And also the other thing too, soy, if you went to the Orient, real soy, that it can be beneficial and good for you. Soy in this country and most of the stuff, even the health foods, are packed with soy. And I'm like, why does my hot dog that I give to my dog have soy in it? You know, because it's a filler, and basically soy acts as an estrogen. So if you're already estrogen dominant, and estrogen is the one that makes men go, why are women so nuts? And we're like, that's why, because we don't make enough progesterone to even out that estrogen, and you're adding that soy that your body just relates to estrogen, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So,
which can lead to breast cancer, I've heard.
right, exactly. So, you know, be really aware, because a lot of healthy people I talk to, they're, oh, soy. And I'm like, how's that working out for you? Doesn't seem like it is. And you're just, you know, it's causing more havoc than anything. And that's a big debate for a lot of people, but, you know, there's a lot of scientific studies on it and all of that. So food for thought.
I think a word that you've used a couple of times that needs to be in the vocabulary more when we talk about food is filler. Because if you think of it as filler, like when I think of that word and in food, I'm literally thinking of like sawdust being like shoved inside of like a sack. Like that's how I kind of feel like, or like, you know, polyester, or like filler and stuff like that. So like if we actually started thinking about all of the garbage that we're eating as filler, your mind can kind of change it a little more. So I love that word. It needs to be used a lot more in nutrition.
Yeah, it is. It totally is. Too much added garbage in it, not real whole foods.
I did want to touch on you've recently in this past year started doing classes for self-defense and anti-abduction for children. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
I want all of those, all of that.
And also concealed weapon permit classes. So we do the legal portion here, and then we're working with Florida Firearms to do your on the range with the gun, and then you get the certification.
That's awesome. I think that's so important for both the self-defense and the anti-abduction for children, because no one other than you that I know of around here teaches the anti-abduction stuff. So I think it's so important.
And I've had a lot of families come in with their kids, and then they can practice together. I mean, it actually can be kind of fun, but I mean, I don't have kids myself, but I feel passionate about it, that they need to know how to protect themselves, or at least make enough space with someone that's trying to do something bad to them, and know that they're trying to do something bad, and make that space so they can get the heck out of there to their loved ones that can protect them. And that's huge. I mean, even we'll go out to the car and somebody's trying to shove you in a car, even women will show you how to hang on, do all this stuff that's going to be real tough for those people to get you in the car. Here in January or February, we're going to start doing some sign-up boot camp classes. It's going to be a series of them. So then you'll know the times and dates, and then you can just show up at those times. It's going to be an outdoor space, which is going to be awesome. So it'll be really close to the studio over here. And then I'll start doing some other classes as well in the studio that I have up my sleeve. So, and they'll be all different levels. So you don't have to be, you know, boot camp ready to go. You can be, you know, I'll modify that for people.
Nice.
Thank you.
So Heather, how can someone find you, and where are you located at?
I am at 1059 Broadway, Suite B, like boy, in Dunedin, Florida, 34698. The studio phone number is 727-755-3485. Or you can also go on my website, which is www.heatherlalk, fit2at.net. So it's FITTO, the letter A, and then the letter T.net. There's a lot of blogs. There's information in there, as you saw. I need to change some of the pictures, but we're working on that. So valuable information. There's also supplement lines that I do believe in, take myself, and I recommend. And there's tips and tricks on there. Those done for you meals you can order on there as well, just from my website. And also things like CBDs and medicinal mushrooms are on my website.
What? Okay,
Whoa.
now we need to ask about this.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Heather, for answering all of our questions. You've been so knowledgeable with everything. And I feel like, this is going to be a healthy new year for all of us because of all
Don't
the,
jinx us.
I know, knock on wood.
Stop saying anything about next year.
This year, Tia, this year.
Yeah.
This year, sorry, whatever year, 2024, which we've just boosted into.
Yeah, right. Let's just fast forward because we really need to.
Well, Heather, before we let you go, we do have our lightning round of inside the podcast studio questions for you. So stay tuned.
All right, so we're going to start off. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Right
the
answer.
enthusiasm we like. All right, good start. All right, so what is your favorite word?
Nutrition.
What is your least favorite word?
Diet.
What is your favorite curse word?
FUCK.
What animal would you want to be?
Horse.
What animal would you never want to be?
Ant.
What weapon would you pick during a zombie apocalypse?
Sword.
What weapon would you never pick during a zombie apocalypse?
A mallet.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Rock star.
What profession would you never like to attempt?
Gynecologist.
And last but definitely not least.
Oh, I got one. What's your favorite exercise?
Oh, back. Anything back. Back, let's say rows.
And last but definitely not least, if you died tomorrow, what is one thing you would want the world to remember about you?
Integrity.
Ding, ding, ding. You are now the fastest and most complete of our Inside the Podcast
Really?
Studios.
It's more entertaining when you just think of something. You're like, why did I say that? But okay,
Yeah.
next one.
Thank you so much, Heather, for being on our show. It was great to learn some fitness tips for the new year. Tia, what events do we have coming up?
Thank you so much for asking, Stacy. We actually have quite a few events coming up. So,
Like my
first-
birthday.
What? Happy early birthday. That's right,
Thank
because this
you.
show will come out before your birthday. So other than Stacy's birthday on the 18th, it may be in my calendar. I may have Facebook looked it up a couple weeks ago. That is okay.
Oh, you're the
I
best
know.
co-host.
Ever. Actually, you are, and you have the plaque to prove it.
It's on my wall.
All right, let's start off these events. So, first of all, we've got one on Saturday, January 16th from 4 to 8 p.m. There will be a dark art show going on at Dark Door Spirits Distillery over in Tampa. There's going to be a few artists there. Go on by, sample some of their fantastic lavender gin and bourbon, and check out some awesome art. And that will be, like I said, from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. on January 16th.
And then on January 17th, there's the Kiwanis Adventure Run on Honeymoon Island. And with that, you have an option of either running 5 miles or a 5K on Honeymoon Island. It's a really fun race. I did it last year, and it's also a bit challenging for those runners out there that want a little bit of a challenge. And bonus, it's a fundraiser for the Dunedin Kiwanis Club, which, needs funds to help the kids programs in the local area. So win-win-win.
And also on Sunday, January 17th, we're going to go on up to downtown Palm Harbor at Bogata Restaurant, where they're going to have a yoga and brunch class from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on January 17th.
So if you don't want to get that physical fitness in with the Kiwanis Adventure Run, head straight to Bogata.
And go drink and stretch instead.
And then on January 20th, there's a cupcake and beer tasting at CUNY from 7 to 8. Lots of yummy options to taste there.
On January 21st, which is a Thursday, there is going to be a ring making workshop at the Edinburgh Fringe, who was one of our guests on our show, from 5:30 to 7:30. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Go on and check that out.
And then rounding out our picks of local events on January 22nd from 7 to 10, there's an Irish whiskey tasting at the Scottish American Society, which is my personal pick for the week because it combines my two cultures and one of my favorite beverages.
Exactly. And that we may end up being there because we are now both members of the Scottish American Society. So you might see famous people, Stacey and Tia, at this Irish whiskey tasting. So
exactly. All right, guys. Well, that's all we've got for you for this episode. Thanks so much for listening. As always, rate, review, subscribe,
like us everywhere. We've got the talk. We've got the book. We've got the gram. We sounded like drug dealers. We got the tube. Yep, we got the tube. We're everywhere.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Yes, like us, follow us, review us, tell us everything about how much you love us. And until next time,
TTFN.